Famo ato awusa famo munyina aha UTV so enie omayimu ene amagodro so nsam ayensa ka ne bobo no eno na edu so ye de ebremu efri abeka junction ewo enka kopon mu this way chocolate spring cosidonia ene enso special ice ene so mu ode ene mu eye kroji ena afi special drinks sa enumako ene afoforo enkae na aka bom asoyasne ayede prem to reka sebo no ebremu nakase ebo no de ebedi mu akosini bi enie Asyoye ehwe amanebo ensam so akasa ede atu edwase amanebo anampa rehusam kase esi ewo Appiatse eno ben bogoso no obudi hu ye pa no mchese aban ama aturenje mu aboafo ko ne abambofo dodo no akoho no ma wonom ekoboa na wodi yie atu yie ewo ho no Omanpanyi abedieche Dr. Mahamadu Baumia so akasa de afasa arehusam yi ho amekọ wiase odi atodwa se enye adehia wonum ewo Appiatse ben bogoso nko na ade ato omani eyomanmu ni nyina da sanso oswafo hwe ensase ene emu agudie so ede atodwa se asoye no won bebo modin bia yewodo betimi na ensase a yetu eso efom agudie na asese no masiesie no mo asan enya no back biem na ayekama kama amakodo so ensam emu no wobokina faso memu na mpanyufo a wonum wo omani kopon mu no a wo mu ni abana fa na bi omadwen se won beye oyekere ede atia abana nyame eye adoma memenda nanso no eyade a yesi wonum ekwansa yema wonum enye abusafo wei ane ensam bia ebi eka ho na editie na edihwe ane aso no so krojia yede ebremu ewo UTV so ewo enkran abeka janshi Midday ade Afia Adutwumwaa Morosa me ana prem to beka sebo no Midday ebremu afei ensam no enie Sa amanfo beka ya enra ya ene de rehusam bi etu dwase ukrobi a watudin Appiatse eno no eben bogoso ewo atoemantam mu no arehusam kase esni nyina ne se explosion akasa emekọ wiase aha adwen ye pa ama enipa bi afamu ahwe won kwame bi nso eprepra na no ena asoye ehwe amaneboso wonom eda betu dwase sa arehusam ye asie wonom so ate agese wagina so ama adihye nyina yakọ wosom reporter wonom ete ye no echese eye mining company bi ena chese afa tracker washwa explosive material agumu na kwanu ena oni motorcycle bi ekohia ye sabe no so na electric transformer bi eben ho ena chese peja ma ekosuso mu metretre ye ema ekohye kromu ni nyina esa na no ena chese omampanyi na adodankwa akufo ado te ye no sabi wanta no to so wama national emergency response mechanism etu anamonye pa bia posifo omedumja enyumefo do na afi National Disaster Management Organization turenche mu aboafo Ghana Health Service National Ambulance Service na afi Municipal Authority no wo mu nyina da etisu a wo mu kokoni mu a emua bi esafata bia no wonom edekoso omanfo asene honom sabra meka sensu no wo chese abambofo dodo no a yasampo asahwo mo se mo nso enti so na so mo kona won e wo hona mu onu so a no mo so ede mo de no akwakota wo machi se no yenya ne tiese ahyan dodo no a wo mo nam sa akwa no so no wo mo abo asesa wo mu nya ba bi emfa enisia mo wonom alternative route bi ya bokwa foforo bi ato honom amom se wonom omo emfa ho na wonye wadwuma na hospitals ahodre wo empatam wonso no se woni efa sa aturenchem no eprepraye no ya soa wo makogu honom a ye hwe wonom na no na se mpanyfo ede atu edwase wo mo eye arrangement na ye di ebi abanka na hase hospital hase na afemo a wo mu hia ewapodin mu nso no yatumi ede ama wo mu a wei eye amanebo a asoye ehwe amanebo ensam so ede atodwa ama kodwo opo enkroma mrahye bedwani ono aso no so afọ waso ni mu no wode ne nsa ahya ase a watu bi ede amane ensam trofo ama UTV ensam trofo nso yensa etumi akanyendie Yes, wakase bono so sa arehusem kroye mu no omanpanyi abedieche Dr. Mahamadu Baumia ono so akasa ho amode atodwa se wedie eye asema emu odin ma oman Ghana wose we no enya Appiatse ade hye nkwa na enyu nemom no eye Ghana fo nyina da na ade ato omani wose sese nipa be se edunso na wonya ne ntie se wo mo afamu ahye won kwa amadodo no anso eprepra
asema esi ye enra yeti sasini na enye asem a eyede eventina president Nana Adutwumwaa Kufuado oyi ni anapi se many ministers in every fire service and the police any natlo yembe fair sabi etie na sabi mosomote evinti me ba ha yebo omama mi briefing no kanchire me de esiye ayeko chinchin ohwa explosion ni ye yehu danya ebubu yenyina yeho yeko hospital eso bro sra omo that hospital also fe said the omo ye the country hospital going in say government Bedford hospital planning in Bibia a cabin ho said the omo government the big theater ekano amalubia abubu ni go abo hangina mummi bibia momenti na sisi the president say yemfre state housing corporation say omumbe fair said you need to be asidan ama daya ebubu nyina amalubia State Housing Corporation Western Regional Office. Omuna Kwanso a Omoba Fair said the Omotina Sidai and the mining companies in Iowa Kabu Ayafe, but they say Omo Town I am share a Dimano Asi maybe next week. Now, Yetina Sidai in also yedinema ti aba said the mamo na sisi no motumi atina kakra the mosquito net bebre aba mosquito coil bebre semana soup any cooking oil bebre so aba rice as and more so bebre aba mattress niema so blankets Taria, Yediaba, Winina, so Yedi, Bessie, Pass, Winina, Winina, said, Bibia, Oveto, Baby, Kakra, Akora, Asa, Ubi, 18, Paso, here, 18, President, Young Mamutika, Kakra, so Namon Femoho, will be 200,000 Ghana cedis. 2 trillion. Tukabagano, with the big jamo, Sisi, and Yemin, but since the big jamo, the eventually also, the better Sat and also Amavia. Unina, Kasuti, Miasi. Ebuno, Epuno, Yabuna, Yako, Yabenfa, Open Price, Ebefia, that one, Kano, you're sitting above the
I was for young from Uncle Appiatse Ben Bogus, so yes, I say same Tony Charles a jury or honum. The echoes to be any dear Sibiano, Babo whom I'm a near a day, and my child sort of can't my hang. Boko dear.
Yame Adutwumwaa, Yabesi on your boko, Waha, Benembo, Yabeka Ujara.
Okay, you say they're not supposed to be, but one man
Joe, so far, my Yabaka hospital, South Yako, Mawo Bridge, Mawo Boso, Mawa Tapa, Mawo Christia, Yashada Yako Kohoinarano, a some na that's for no. What catch a hand there, 6 years ready with Yamujapa, with Yamujama, oh yeah, 1 hour we prepare no Sunday, or Ayan. Na one Yamujapa, Mother Monkofia, Yerkawasemia, Obibese, and Sha, on Tama, then Sano, Nebby, Narako, after Wonka, a womb. Now, America Muja semi, Mamin Mo, successes Katra, so far. Nipa dodoa won sa kan wona wewu wona wo wonkom wona we pra memfa emo ye ahwafo Sesiara Myorokete, so Yadahujina, 57 casualties. Today, one war hospitals, Alfu Narano. Nanke, you were 4 in critical condition. What the one call confinatory. But Sesiara Miyan, Yeni, there were the 2 Africa. So far, Yenya 6 hour for another. It is so far, and a panoya 4, but the 2 so Africa. Na bio ya kede abogo so hospital bi a wo Asida hospital na yenya oye nyimpa 20 a wo do one akwekogu wo da mu 20 aye wa asemi numu 9 eye mbenyin 9 so eye mbesia na 2 eye moframa onwan de nyame abo ya baka de onwan wo huye okay na so oye prayer na we prepare na mbo mu hono onye that serious there hospitals are kasini yarisho woni prayer na ye pepie wa ye so far no 4 million for 4 na wa admit one oye anapano na nkanyimpa 4 na wasa wonya woni chi oye bia bebe ana dan ogu igu wono do no nti for now on still ogina hara but we go do rescue team no good we go walo shade we go to we nya bi e kan hon but so far na dey 4 now we go e kan one shade we nya obi are die enko nkeka enho na mbom yabaka de enenama tuba enhu de bones na moja na de no wo krom bebre ye also yakobogo so OPD hospital OPD one what discharge or 25 at the page. But so far now no today and now I'm a union today. So far no was discharging nimpa or 38. It is actually 25 for no now at about 38 now. Some math will set me right now. Not the nimpa Yabakade no 8 to 9 was was waging one if you ho na one what one call or your tapa what transfer won't fee or your bobo so hospital what one quarter so where you 26 the monk of fee ne yabaka the wake up being in an asso being in sasso or being it after na do chede bunye betia onyada oye ada ebo to mumpu edwe no akye in some so were preventing and there 1 man and 1 man and go to try and where they wanted to them. But as an opinion in Arano, the Baba Kada Nimpa 10, according to ambulance service, no hospital information, what the man know. Nimpa 10, no way from no, or down who 10 and Ara with the ambulance service, no hospital service information. You're going there, Ministry of Information, so the 17 will be based. But yeah, no, yesterday, baby, when you was 17, was up to now, ambulance service, now hospitals, you know, what come with my water, what the man, or 10. One pay, one thing can I want young to me and make a being count. Now, China, no, Ninja Mono, only, being 4 and 9. Now, Abu Praba for Ikao, or yeah, Abu Praka Kraba, also Okawana, so far, no way too wide and waiting. Na nkofo obi said this year go for him for na water na where then would this year no echo baby today oye Bobo St. Michael Catholic Church what parish was so one na dom no ogu but the back am penyu fa wa ma bo hwe won na de no another assembly no what they demand na de brown what in suna de what kike kan wa what the brown there wo baby what wala hwe de obotu when you baby for what down on which wa fa patla captain time when you nara you know what there abanarable support no way to what about the some structure to be ama oya wana what done obubu na deno so far nti mo way to ahanye but yen you there information yen ni na ba you there on time in brain no me information na yen ni nta there nimpa ya wono ebi ewe ka but one payment yen is not confirming it ya dem pede UTV ya de bottle oye ashafo won enyim nti me na betia ebi sama oro kodo na ebi na me da afrewo
Ajuri anyambia asem kase partners no Enuane na ye de bra omo no ya no dada ene ye chema wo mo anampo ye de bra omo a na omo ankasa anoa e wo ho no.
The banana was the brown one, the 1 year data, no what the brown one. I feel not more force water there, water bubble chana, what poor one, but so far no, yenya not more for one presentation and there was up, but what shop there were both one. But the banana was the big now, the banana 1 year that was baby I will parish or no. In a baby, and you hold waiting for 1 year the ban for her in see the demand 1 year, no what the brown home waiting.
Eti omuje omanan wo hen omunya baabi je omanan kama
parish or baby which a nan no baby a wugwari nyinara oye Catholic church may provide baby mama na wotu wugwari wo ho which a one now wo do no one who does oye but they are managing the university they are managing the place which Catholic church may provide baby to the mama one.
Yeah, that's Papa Charles.
Also madam to you no be here.
Yo abusa for ye nsem Johnny Charles Ejiri amanebo eno de akoguo no yadasoa ewo Appiatse ensem no emo na aban krache panyin owo Pristia Huni Valley a wone Dr. Isaac Dasmani wono so akasa akyerɛkyerɛ kwan a adehye dodo no a efa mu hiri won kwa wabra saa explosion no ekasa ye no na ewokyerɛ truck driver no anampo driver na wafa sa explosive materials egu ni shemu no wosi abra esi ye no oda fom ebo adehye ne nyina kokko nanso wonum antie na woni nsɛmtwerɛfo nko atwitwum na de tu dwa sɛ abra ne truck no ekɔbɔ anampo motorbike no ekroso no apɛ ɛhɔ na driver ne da fom ɛna ɔhyɛ sɛ si wotiam owuo bebo bibi besi o munwane o obi enwane ne nyine kra nkwan na bra wotiem se enkrofo enwane enjo mo kra nkwan no na ebi mu so uhia no won pese obuhu de ntia papa ne da fom na oka kire so obi enwane na wonje ne kra enkwan na saafo no na owuo no edi kan eto wonom ansa na numu no na oche se de esi anya esi we no se abra truck no kra eto fom sa no papa ni tietie mu a satam kwa na janya ntomu ni janya ntomu wasisima edu achi ansana ekobo eye transformer no emu ekobo transformer ni mu na fe apaja ama atretre sa achese wei ene ensama abanka chipanyi owo Pristia Huni Valley Dr. Isaac nso edi atodwa.
Actually unbearable. Looking at the whole village has been ripped off, and then there were some dead bodies and a lot of people were injured. Buildings have collapsed, and so immediately men came, fire service from Takwa, from Pristia, some came from Morosa, and we also got some military men also came to the scene to support, and then the police also came, and then we have a lot of people on the ground that were able to put the situation under control. Now the road, we have been able to create an access road, and then if you look at now, traffic is moving slowly, but we are also praying that maybe tomorrow we'll find a way of fixing the road so that the traffic can move. So according to an eyewitness, it's like as if the truck was moving and it was crossed by a motorbike also, and then it hit the motorbike and then motorbike later fire. So the driver got down and then he was telling people to run away, and and some people were also trying to find out what was really happening. While the driver was shouting that people should run away. So I think it happened, and around about 10 minutes time, the whole thing exploded. So people who were trying to rush to the scene were the people who were mostly affected. And if you look at some of them were in critical condition. And as I speak to you right now, we have sent about 3 of them to Kumasi. And then some people were also referred to Takwa. And for now, we have about 17 dead bodies. Initially, they sent some, but some of them were treated and discharged. So we have set up a relief center, as I speak to you. So I'm now dealing with the military president. We want to have a meeting. And when we finish, I've also put some people in charge to take care of the affected ones. Probably tomorrow, they will find some permanent place for them to also stay. You can look around, because it's night, you may not see. But the whole place, the whole, community is gone. All the roofs have been ripped off. And then if you look at some of the buildings too, they have also collapsed. And sometimes you might see some block building, they have all collapsed. And some of them were in their rooms and then they were trapped, and they were able to rescue some of them. Some of them, unfortunately, before we rescued them, they had already gone. So, in fact, it's a very sad situation for me today. So I've been here since afternoon up to now until we are still here and then assessing the situation and making sure that at least every affected person is taken care of. Some of them too were not even around when the incident occurred. Yes, and some too also ran away. But if you look at the way the whole thing happened, some of them were actually in their rooms. Those who were in their rooms, they were put in because they didn't hear what was happening. Yes, but some people also ran away. And then if you look at the whole situation, you realize that those who were in the room and the people who were also trying to rush to the scene when they were shouting, when there's something happened, the typical of our behavior, instead of us to probably inquire whatever has happened, some people want to rush to the scene and see what has happened. And I'm sure that was the reason why those who rushed there were met to the gas and then they died.
I was on for year to work as a bono as soon as I who send me a esino at range mu abua foko a nadmo for so akasa. Nanumono and no more achem say Adam Poma Kumakubesa a herd 200 household and no what Bogoso Appiatse at Temuno was see a more hamunchemu at your crunum 95 and as I explosion no asa no quata as I for no end to me alpha bibi and free muna addition wompo yen to me a who say woman nada actually one quanampo a be enya won't see didi mua na saa ensemi nadmo panyi abedi chire owo Pristia Huni Valley Louis Afo na editu dwa no si esimprenu two faces baako no esi underground and the other one nso esi ewo soro achese adehia dodo no ano na wo ho akọ adwamu anampaka adwamu ewo honom no si adampon dodo no ano no ewo ekwan no ebonkum so left side of the road na chese wo mo pa so na sabe so aturenchemi eka wonum eye pa na o chese wo ko ne writer few structures anampo adan wo honom no na nheda no so na wo hwemu so a adan no dodo no ano ye de atache ayese titi adan ni bi na aye no nti wo mo de etumi kan wo mo ye pa no nti na wo hwe honom a akwa esa park so ajese ye di grader na akwa dwiri honom no wo se na explosion na ano odin papa na explosion etumi ama transformers wato atwene de na etumi se nye explosion keto a na o se track no krampa na afa explosive material no ebesi na manugu so aye kase wo chese ye hu ba bi a track no ene nam anampo afa atese no krampo no explosion no ama no ayira atese otumi se na ano ediye papa na no eno de atodwa se de won ya wo ho akọ adwamu no edoso na mencha de wo mo ya torenche mu aboafo okuo no wo mu de wo ho agima wo boa na fe wo hwe se wo de yedie ebetu eyie ama bibia etumi ayekama pa awusafo ne yakwa ahoma no so na ye ne Owura Francis Abeku Pristia Huni Valley ono ene nadmo panyi ewo ho edwetwe enkomo kakra obedum bia UTV sunio ma hen. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Abeku Timeka.
The phone call, madam.
Ma hen. Boko dear.
Yes, indeed. I say,
yo, ye de nyame ase. Abeku say samowo Appiatse kro ni mu.
Pacho, yo.
Ade na mudi mani ehu. Ede na mo ye. Ede na mo bega nso di aboa wo mu.
Yeah, ni say no abanka spenyi bono mode enya baabi me locate omo ina de ko Roman Palace Hall ewo Bogoso na ewie nso so ofidi omo anapa enye ni mere ye kata mani company to be abaye moa ayo mo mpanyi abede chile Dr. Baumu Mawia abaha nso abaye moa kese mattress eni nadmo asoye aba mo ina akabo mo mpanyi fo bi abakro di mpapa mabaye donating between pa dia boa omo ye president ye kase na sika so ekafo ye mpa mob ho bra betumi akase eyo mampanyi ni na padi eti asoye no omakasa motu na monso aba
abe enyambia Pristia Huni Valley nadmo no mo wo akade kakra bibisi putuprum se ya motumi de boa omo say ane dia enra abresi ye no emwa be na mo de boa mo as nadmo workers
mo itimi de boa de na me kase one no e ba ya pe MC bo na homode e mai e boa da ba se no me kunya ba bi locate o na e ko e brafo e do mo ko hospital omo amofrim se do mo ko mortuary nti ne tinya kase don't know na help you answer anymore. Now and why the buyer to the individuals so a boy papa at the normal buyer. But not much more cool any NC Akaboom. Yakata, which will be any years this year. Don't there any layer and the panel on your Amwa. The other one about it will be a bit in the bit of why. And America has no one never just says Rabba, I'll be not before M1. You know, my, yet this travel there, Miss Macate, if you are.
Okay. And as I said, there's some of you, sorry, Munyan free, what they say.
Papa, Panja, and your premier on Saturday coming.
Yatsi, and ye Yenja na quiet what you.
Your best individual companies, money companies, individual PR, so you say almost 5 months are going to, and I say this month are going to give it near Lucati, to be almost that down. Now, we should be a quarter. At least you say to Mamma here, Mokaka. Neither answer Mubit Mother in your scar, Yepe, the Indian Maswa, Yepe. The idea of anything and no one. And so will be a bit in that kind of one, if I don't match for Papa. But no, my dear, Yakasan Yamatum, Mampanya, but it's the Yaba, the Yamo.
Okay, I bet, who can support us? Unchurch, we support the bear pan and Munuye, Muhiana.
Oh, say, yes, you see, the Yoma, but the Yoma. The two the other makers are going to the Dakota to na said the Uber Kuluma Munuma, I had casted no. And they will more be a bit in the account for the Namdo and San Quay. And to be BBI will be a bit in the other account, said the maker, because I'm war. And you want to be a opportunity to come away in Chile.
Okay. It's a bit with them. Yes, I mean, true. So, me say, me person me bram was a CA, then I may buy me famra.
Oh, but Yama, Tika, Abwa, what is you almost no. Omo ya locate my coach here, no. Ye ka say untimi no aduane e wo ho. Ya package asa omo no no aduane e de mo omo. Almost nura ni na ye fidi omo.
Okay.
Nti odi kama ya ye ni beje. San so omo ya mo oil mattress a ye beje. Obre nsu a ye beje.
Okay.
Bucket mosquito coil bibia if it me e de boa ma li patislam e ye pepe no. On se de mo a ye ni beje papa. The moon in your market can be the boy, my fear, a piano. And the man to my and climb your man, paying for you, other bell in the budget.
Okay. I bet you that's for Papa.
That's a
you. I was for Nadmo Penny or what Pristia, Huni Valley, I want Francis Abeku and yet say or Casado. Yeah, free, Bogosu Samnimu. Near the any actual and self from no swafo our no and the show may and say any emu a good dear as well. I want onunya for Samuel Abu Jinapo. Wakasa dia to just na suye no e be jina so abo humodin aye dwumadin aboa ama ensase ahodo a yetu eso efom agudie a asese no mu asiesie ama nsase no asan aye emuno chian bi.
Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, for lawyer Samuel Abu Jinapo, one opinion for Abe PMO Asantemantema, or Muko PMO, Ewa Bosome Freho, Mencinema Ewa Santemantema, Nano, and a Wakasa watcher say, small scale miners or more or mine, you want to share any emrebi a chese, sa utu a goodia, utuya, and na Edrias Hechino, Ewasa Amrana Dahono, or Sabacataso, or Chesa Yushimua, a Siena Aye, a chese, small scale miners in Biwa, and Namsa Sa. And she say, and not a biasa echi and sana and brana church so bit my kata amrano sono. A bit we are almost ambe kataso and I'm so ama baby a 2 a good year p amra and umojanawa a nipa a binum cotitum no mawu afe or bar dear bobre ya saying na and no enna or so fortunate say it was a sab and she say no woman 8 me and sakraye nor in some way to ja ewa bosome freho mensinimono na a baby or my pilot or my swahe sa kwan ben sona obi 2 a good year.
As you know, many parts of the southern part of our country has been degraded as a result of illegal small-scale mining, and the president is taking the view that we work to reclaim these degraded mined-out sites with all the attendant consequences, as we all are very familiar with. So essentially what we're trying to do is to have this massive reclamation effort across the country. And this is an example. This is just one of many other reclamation which we are going to make across the country. There are 2 important matters that I want to communicate to you. The first one is that the law as it stands now is such that when small-scale miners excavate for purpose of mining, they are required to reclaim the land and revegetate the land within 30 days after excavating. When that happens, you get yourself into this kind of situation. They excavate the land and they move on to excavate and they move on to excavate and then leave behind these degraded mined out sites. And the taxpayer then has to cough up money, as you can see now, for government to reclaim the lands. I think it's a wrong arrangement, and therefore we are going to be insisting on concurrent reclamation and revegetation, which is that when you excavate, you reclaim, you revegetate before you move forward. I also think, and secondly, that we will require a national reclamation fund, and at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, we are beginning to interrogate the concept or the framework or the mechanism within which we can have a national reclamation fund. Because as you can tell, the work involved is enormous, and therefore we need to find an intelligent approach of setting up a national reclamation fund which will give us a pool of funds to be able to reclaim the already mined out sites across the country. Of course, we have to go to cabinet. Of course, we have to look at the law and look at the legal regime as it exists and find a clever way of either amending the law or passing a new law to be able to give us the impetus to establish this national reclamation fund.
Ausanfo yamfamo ko Amansia Central eno wo Asante Mantemu ne nya ne ntiasa asrafo a wonum eboa amagalamsey eto atumi atwa e wo memu no wonum akosese excavator makomako aduonum 50 ena afen so shamfan de edi tu afidie na edi ransuo mu etu fuma gudie no makomako aduokono 99 wo de no eka ho ne madodo no a ena asrafo no ase no.
Brigadier General Joseph A. Afia, one any General Officer Commanding, our Central Command, one and Central for Ekasai no Wichimua. Jumadian Pinfo, Ediasha one son as a one share. Nakwambani and Nipper be and so a two from a goodie or my Ganemu. I offend Galamsey, our DA saying so, as I say any amount for Funo, or Berhen one amount for a jai. Brigadier Chirimua, a free nano who quada or two who egu Montensono, for what is amount for a Galamsey nano, or Becohona Galamsey no el Kosu gidi, and then on a nam yo so ama wotime sisi samfidi nyina no bekoso so abo anan afọ my gana mu nyina ne bebia galamsey no ekoso no wama wona jai wasa ka to su biem se asrafo no ebo mpempe bi wodan wonani a na galamsey fo no abisi wonachi no wo se di wonjuma o de fa UTV so e de ato galamsey fo nyina nim se ewiase ujai ateta yija wo hwani wonjai ne mfa asumdwe embra na afia amanfo baabi ete se oboase ene amanse central no wonyina wo mbo na galamsey no wontumi into ase sanse se yire so paso se den a wona wote fa akoyetu galamsey no wona won ho ebekire won e fa nsuo ene asase odi be yekua ho a.
And we've observed with worrying trend where these recalcitrant illegal miners quickly return back once they know that the military are no more there. But I believe that we'll chase them to wherever they are and we'll ensure this operation once the military high command gives us the mandate to sustain this operation and continue as much as we can to ensure that our lands, our river bodies, and then our forest reserves are cleared. It's also worth mentioning that since our deployment yesterday, we have been very successful in our operations and we will continue to press hard until we flush out these illegal miners from our rivers and then our forest reserves. Furthermore, the operations in due course will be extended to other regions within the command. That's the Bono region, the Bono East, and then the Afia regions. That is when higher command gives us the authority. I want to use this opportunity to reach out to the indigenes of Obuasi, Central and the South Amansa area to help us because this destruction, of course, goes deep into their own hearts. Definitely, they are the people who are suffering most. If the rivers are all choked, the forest reserves are all choked, they don't have farms, it is they who will suffer more. So I want to appeal to the indigenes to support us in this particular operation that we are carrying on.
Adan radio station beto just a minfo bi akoto ahyeso asese honema asanso mpo abro enwumafo no ede agusu no adan nananam hemfo bedwa no akasa ho no makasa mpo ede atia ede ato dwa se safo na won sa hye sa abonefo semiase no ekwan bia so wo so yetumi achi wonom ebo mo kwandu.
Wo eda ya woda January da na to so du miensa 2022 yi mu na radio adanfo adumayefo ana wo mu eye aduma wo ho no wo mu anka bi anhyemu a nkrofo bi ekoto hye wo mu so eboro wo mu nam so mekoko wi ase na ebi mu kura eprepre ya wo mu eda ayaresabia na nipa no na wo mu kire se wo mu ye nipa be te se edu na wo mu bewura ho a wo mu ekọ wo offices ahodo no ana no na ye wekesa na wo mu ewo ho no wo mu ebisa mpanimfo bi ase wo mu ho a wo mu ankyere nti no wo mu eha wo mu pa wo mu eboro ebinom ekoko wi ase no wo mu ekonya mpanimfo yi eboro wo mu a wo mu enam so esese niema mfidi na radio adanfo de ye adwuma nyina no wo mu esese ne no ne press conference sonko akoso ewo adanam so ema manklalo ema ada nene opesika agude egina mu ekasa ye ema paramount chief a owo ada ede to a policefo anim se wo mu esrada wo mu enyenhwehwe mu pa emfa saasem we hu na obi biara ne ho ebom mu no wo mu atumi akire no apɛ asotwe ede ama no.
The public was made aware of an attack on Radio Adan on Thursday, 13th January 2022. The paramount chief of the Adan traditional area and president of the ATC, together with the entire council, sympathizes with the station and condemns the act in its entirety. We call on all to cooperate with the police and assist investigations when the need arises, so that the perpetrators will be brought to book to serve as a deterrent to all. Meanwhile, the attack raises certain concerns. What might have been the cause of this unprecedented attack? We wish to caution Radio Adan to desist from airing programs and making statements that stir up tensions in our peaceful communities.
Enwachi ena safohene ema adan nene otumfo so editu dwase asem no eba ya nipa wo mbo hu dawru no dodo no edanedane asem no na sade niema etie no enye saa eno mo eka no ogina so ekirikiri mu esi
ye gina de gina chese adan radio se ombe ye bibia na mo de bibi betu wie mu a omumma entiase enye dwuma na mo nti afanu mienu nyina enye nananom ahemfo nko a Jumedie bia beba ho bia no afani mienu nyina utie ha benkum ni nifa no abọ no pọ no ehu de etie na de bia se beba ne se utie obaako asem na uja echirimba na okọ wanim ekoka na akwati se de oye de o kanipa udi aboa obaakofo na no entimi mfa asundwie emma efie de adesre de nso to enti anim se omumwa ene security service no so omomwa na dwumedie bia ekoso wa Adan radio no se ne be ya ebi ma o kire bium na nse adaman din ense traditional council din na nse obi bia din ne ye betra se asundwem no se ne be ya no kro no be dedi se ne be ya ebi mebium ti de ye kan twato ane se de si wa Adan radio ye ne nye ho.
Isia wonom wo abrem samai eno ewo commander edina eguafo abrem kropon no emu wo mo akasa asra aban enwumakuo ene ankrankra se wo mo hia classroom block eno nti wonhwe endum wombi
amanfo ni bi oni UTV ekasa ye no echiremu a wa hwe school dan amofra ne tinemu agi adisua a enya de ya homka na ebe ye den na abofra wote sa school dan we mu a ade teacher ni krampo be kire no akona sum wa bo won homoden aye no obetumi bia na so wa homoden ne sesei no apem enti wo sufra aban ene wona won sam wo bi se wo mra no mbekọ wo moa sei ene odi to UTV anim
mesira na nakofa abi se omomoden anomra onsuma mo mra na nankasa so ye de won fo won yiwa mo hwe no wo bo ahen won yin school ho sisi I am press say edanum nti mo fa mo na wo won huntumem teachers watch when I did. To me send baby sama money and to trust sign on am there. A baby I met no more day on more hand. And should there be a bay account water. I blame Sam and Kay, ya kagana hopa, ya to aba. Nti yes, me say won bebre na na akofado omo modi amabo asama man won ye school no na ye school ya na ye di yan wodi ye sisi ya yom afi bia ye conference wo krom ga say ni ye di gigiska ni ye di aye dam school na ban bia amabo ahenda
school ya yesi aye community na anamboa ana ye di esi dam school ya o ha di na professor Mrs na breso na aban ka de obesi school dan amai school dan no wie mama aba wintuma antua so na ado nso aba nso still school dan no onkodo ye hwe yen school yi a ya keka class 1 class 2 ya ka wona abom class 3 won hina wa abobom na school so de ye ka ye hina so ya ko school ni kakra onye ne dem nti aban ye hia no mboa mofra no ebi o ha wo kire class 2 ade na nso ye class 1 ni nti obeyeden ntumi nso obasa mofra no ebi o ha wo so confused because of obom won ho it is a won ho kire won nti aye de bia oba complaints o de ba no
itu anamon nananom na ebusuan mpanyimfo a wo krom ha tu anamon call municipal chief executive wo oye honorable Appiatse ho ekwa ye de ebisadi na akotu nanyim no mpo ka kire hen de oda aban mpo no si school ma hen tim waka oba boso do bepi mi na America se bia o kira na obaza ni aban foforo bae no mo ho hina wo besesa we bros wutwa egu anka odi besi school dan na wo sesa ni na azekwa me ka sei adan na aka wo pepe me na yenye hu bibia nti ikredi se wo ba wo yanza abane ba besi ye school amahia ka ye hu boto me ka sei keji a owo den ka yinya dan ze ma ho school ho no dam edan ni hina no obi ebubo private e wo obi ni fie na wo ye keji ni wo ho owi a wo di feed school no wana won to nso what one mark other schools
ada o ha onye nta ban mo modin ombo yin NGOs obi awo papa mbo bi o do bo no fa mbo aye
Ausanfo agudie mu nsam na edru so odru Romeo ayekrado ode betwa so yetwe ho abasesia